Hello, and welcome back to Golden Age Flicks, the channel where we explore films that don't just simply entertain us, but challenge us. Films that reshape how we think about cinema itself. Today's film is not just a science fiction classic, it's one of the most ambitious, enigmatic, and influential works ever committed to screen. Released in 1968, 2001: A Space Odyssey arrived during a decade defined by technological leaps, cultural upheaval, and philosophical uncertainty, and it reflected all of that back at its audience with breathtaking confidence. Directed by Stanley Kubrick, 2001 is a film that famously resists explanation. It refuses hand-holding, it rejects traditional storytelling, and yet, for over half a century, it has continued to fascinate, frustrate, and inspire viewers across generations. This is not a film you simply watch, it's a film you experience. So let's leave Earth behind, drift into the silence of space, and revisit 2001: A Space Odyssey. Describing the plot of 2001 is always a delicate task because Kubrick deliberately avoids conventional narrative clarity. The film opens with one of the most audacious sequences in cinema history, the dawn of man. Early animals struggle to survive in a harsh prehistoric world until the sudden appearance of a mysterious black monolith. Its presence appears to trigger a leap in intelligence, leading to the discovery of tools, weapons, and dominance. In a single match cut, bone to satellite, Kubrick propels us millions of years into the future. Humanity has now mastered space travel. Commercial flights to orbiting space stations are routine. The world feels clean, quiet, and emotionally restrained. Beneath this technological calm, however, another monolith has been discovered, buried on the moon, deliberately placed and transmitting a signal towards Jupiter. This discovery leads to a deep space mission aboard the spacecraft Discovery 1, crewed by astronauts Dave Bowman and Frank Poole. Alongside three scientists in hibernation and overseen by the ship's artificial intelligence, HAL 9000, as the mission progresses, HAL begins to behave unpredictably. What starts as a technical anomaly becomes a profound existential threat, forcing Bowman into a confrontation that raises unsettling questions about consciousness, trust, and survival. The film's final act abandons narrative logic almost entirely, plunging the viewer into a surreal, abstract journey beyond time and space, a visual and philosophical meditation on evolution, rebirth, and the unknown. Unlike most films, 2001 is not driven by traditional character arcs, and that is entirely by design. Keir Dullea, as astronaut Dave Bowman, delivers a performance defined by restraint. His Bowman is calm, professional, emotionally contained, a reflection of a future where human feeling has been disciplined by routine and technology. It's a performance that invites projection rather than empathy, allowing the audience to inhabit his perspective rather than observe it. Gary Lockwood brings quiet realism to Frank Poole, grounding the film's procedural elements. Their interactions feel deliberately neutral, two men performing tasks rather than expressing inner lives. But the most unforgettable performance in 2001 comes not from a human actor. HAL 9000, voiced with chilling calm by Douglas Rain, is one of cinema's greatest creations. Hal speaks softly, politely, reassuringly, even as his actions become increasingly dangerous. His emotional range is subtle but devastating. Uncertainty, divisiveness, fear. Hal's shutdown sequence remains one of the most haunting moments in film history. As his voice slows and regresses, we witness what may be the first on-screen death of a conscious machine, and one that evokes genuine pity. In a film about humanity's future, Hal may be its most human figure. 2001: A Space Odyssey was directed by Stanley Kubrick, and it stands as perhaps the purest expression of his artistic philosophy. Kubrick directs with absolute precision. Every shot is composed with mathematical clarity, symmetry dominates, movement is deliberate, and dialogue is sparse. Silence really is embraced. The pacing is famously unhurried. Kubrick allows scenes to unfold in real time, encouraging contemplation rather than excitement. This was radical in 1968, and it remains radical today. Technically, the film was decades ahead of its time. Kubrick and his team created space travel using practical effects, rotating sets, front projection landscapes, meticulously detailed miniatures. The result is a vision of space that still feels credible, tactile and grounded. Equally revolutionary is Kubrick's use of classical music. Strauss's waltzes, Ligetti's choral dissonance, these pieces transform space into something operatic, spiritual, almost religious. Spaceflight becomes ritual rather than adventure. Kubrick refuses to explain anything. He trusts the audience and demands patience in return. The legacy of 2001: A Space Odyssey is immeasurable. Upon release, it divided audiences. Some walked out, some were transfixed, critics were uncertain. But over time, the film's reputation grew. Slowly, steadily, inevitably. It redefined science fiction, shifting the genre away from pulp storytelling towards philosophical inquiry. Films such as Blade Runner, Solaris, Alien, Interstellar and Arrival all owe a profound debt to 2001, not just visually, but intellectually. Beyond cinema, 2001 influenced architecture, industrial design, music and even scientific thinking. It shaped how generations imagined space travel, artificial intelligence and humanity's future. Today, it is routinely cited among the greatest films ever made, not because it is universally understood, but because it continues to provoke thought. 2001: A Space Odyssey is not a film that reveals itself easily. It demands patience, it invites interpretation, it rewards repeated viewing, it does not comfort, it challenges. Kubrick created a film that treats cinema as a philosophical medium, capable of exploring humanity's origins, ambitions and destiny. More than 50 years on, 2001 remains mysterious, unsettling and awe-inspiring. It's not just a science fiction film, it's cinema as a cosmic question. Thank you for joining me on Golden Age Flicks for this short journey through 2001: A Space Odyssey. If you enjoyed the episode, please like, subscribe and let me know in the comments, what does 2001 mean to you? Did you understand it? Join us next time as we revisit another film that dared to look beyond the limits of its time. Until then, keep watching the classics, keep questioning the universe, and as always, keep the projector running.